Contract professional services to order. Mr. Hanlon, R39.
R39 is an authorization for the engagement of professional services with Community Bike Works in the amount of $2,500 for their bicycle education program. It's grant funded through the Pennsylvania Department of Health.
Thank you, Mr. Hanlon. Mr. Hartzell, I see you have Ms. Kistler next to you.
Indeed. Ms. Stroll is having more illness issues back at the homestead. It's just crazy what they've been going through. So, if Mr. Hunsaker is watching in Hawaii and wants to take my purchasing agent and her family down to get some warmth and some sunshine as opposed to all of this, I just hope he's listening right now. I mean, that's what Mr. Hirschman has indicated that he's doing. So. We'll see when he comes back. There was only the one bid, I believe, on this because we were under $4,000. And as far as the specifics, I will turn it over to Ms. Kistler.
Okay.
This is something that we do with a one-year contract. Because of the fact that Community Bike Works is not always sure of their funding, and we're never sure of our PADOH funding. So each year, as part of Tina Amato's Nutrition and Physical Activity Grant, we incorporate in our proposal the fact that we will work with kids on learning to properly ride a bike, use a bike, and get exercise through biking. And if that gets approved, then we reach out to Community Bike Works to see if they will work with the children. So this comes up to you every year. We budget for it, so no money has to be put on the lines, but we need the contract approval to work with Community Bike Works.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Kistler. Very great organization, Community Bike Works. I've toured it many times. A lot of our city youth take advantage of that, walk on a bike, and they get to get their own bike when it's all said and done. Comments from my colleagues? R39. Comments from the public? Mr. Howard, call a vote.
Ms. Safra?
Yes.
Mr. Reedy?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
McGuire? Yes. Mona?
Yes.
Mr. O'Connor?
Yes.
President, abstains and remains.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Mr. Hanlon, let's go right to R40.
R40 is an authorization for a contract with Monarch Precast Concrete Corporation, the amount of $87,395 to supply storm sewer fittings, and this was competitively bid through the Lehigh Valley Cooperative Purchasing Council.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Hartzell, I see Mr. Messenger coming in beside you.
I will let him speak to the technical specifics. I will say that this is a contract that has been run through the Lehigh Valley Competitive Purchasing Collaboration, LVCPC. The $87,000 is a maximum for the contract, and it will not entirely be spent by the city. Other municipalities that are part of the alliance within the area will be spending part of that money. So, but it's part of trying to get a good volume purchase for all municipalities within the area. We just happen to be the conduit for it. So with that, I will let you take it.
Mr. Messenger, welcome.
Oh, welcome. The contract is basically for all the stormwater fittings, per se, when you get to the concrete end of it. We have other contracts that handle as far as like the steel or metal, but this part of it here, this is all the precast concrete pipes, inlets, and such risers for all the stormwater manholes and the stormwater system in itself.
Thank you. Comments from my colleagues about the contract? Monarch is, Monarch's they're in Allentown.
Yes.
On the east side. Well, go ahead, Mr. Hendricks, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Only question only, the 87,000, is that our share of it, though?
No.
That's
the aggregate whole.
How much does the city cost?
It's basically as necessary, depending on as we go through and televise our pipe for the season to see which pipe we need to replace. It could be 20, 30, 40,000 part of it for the city. We do have a larger part of it.
Reasonable, the first estimation, Mr. Hendricks, was right around 87,000 for the entire city of the cooperatives. So that's what they went with as a top point at this point.
Ms. Mona?
Have we worked with them before?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
They've been there forever.
Yes.
Okay, any other my colleagues? No one? Public? Mr. Howard, call a vote.
Mr. Greedy?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire? Yes.
Yes.
Mr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Ms. Safra?
Yes.
President, abstains and remains.
Mr. Hamlin, R41.
R41 is an authorization for engagement of professional services with Robert Brinker Jr. in the amount of $800 for proctoring the master and journeyman plumbing test.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Hartzell.
My understanding is that Mr. Brinker has provided these proctor and testing services for the city in this capacity before. These would be 2 events of $400 each during the course of the year.
Yes, Mr. Brinker has been here with us for a while, a very, very fair amount. Comments from my colleagues?
How long are the sessions for the practicing of the testing?
Whatever is necessary, I think, Mr. Garidi, to for whatever it takes to proctor a master and journeyman plumbing tests. And apparently Mr. Brinker has some of those designations himself, so he's very skilled in knowing what has to be done to ensure that the test is done properly.
So we'll know if it is half an hour, 3 hours, 10 hours.
I don't know how long a master or journeyman plumbing test takes.
I think it's about 3 or 4 hours.
Probably like an SAT or something, you know, SAT, SAT.
I just want to make sure that
You're looking at the hourly rate, probably about, $100 an hour, which is 80. Or Mr. Grady?
I'm done, I just wanted to find out.
Any other comments from my colleagues? Comments from the public? Seeing none, Mr. Hammond, R41.
Okay, got it. The engagement of Mr. Brinker. Mr. Hendricks.
Yes.
Mr. McGuire. Yes. Ms. Moda.
Yes.
Mr. O'Connell.
Yes.
Ms. Zappa.
Yes.
And Mr. Green.
Yes.
There's absentees, no nays.
R42.
R42 is an authorization for the engagement of professional services with turf grass disease solutions in the amount of $1,400 for consulting services to provide golf course staff with solutions related to pest control and turf management.
That chair keeps changing people.
Apparently so. This is a professional service and under $4,000, only one bid was solicited, and I will let Ms. Taylor explain the details.
Ms. Taylor, welcome.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Yes, Turfgrass Disease Solutions will make 2 visits to the course during the season to evaluate the turf. They made a visit last year when we were in the midst of an issue with wet wilt, gave us specific directions on how to address the problem, and the course recovered very well. We believe that the 2 visits will help us keep on track all season and avoid another instance of being challenged by disease. So we're recommending this be approved.
Okay, thank you. A lot of work being done at the golf course. It looks great. With some of those trees going down, I'm hearing that the golfers, I don't know a lot about golf, but the trees, the shades and all, this should help with the whole.
That was also part of Turfgrass
Right.
recommendations to take down various trees to increase light and air on the greens. Yes.
Great. Questions from my colleagues? Mr. Greedy,
I ain't going to be.
golfer?
I haven't been there yet.
Okay. Mr. Hedges, go ahead.
How is the condition? Now, I understand the course opened on last Saturday, was it?
The course in the fall was in great condition, carried over very well with this winter, and it's in great condition now.
Thank you.
Any other comments from my colleagues? Comments from the public? Seeing none, Mr. Hamlin, let's call a vote. R42.
Mr. McGuire.
Yes.
Ms. Moda.
Yes.
Mr. O'Connell.
Yes.
Ms. Zappa.
Yes.
Mr. Greedy.
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks.
Yes.
There's absentees and no nays.
Thank you. R43.
R43, it's an authorization for award of a 2-year contract with Grimeline Concrete Skate Park Design and Construction in the amount of $78,010 to secure the services of a consulting team to design and engineer a skate park that meets the safety and standards for the latest skate park design principles for skateboarders, scooters, and BMX riders. This is a result of a RFP.
You're next. Okay. Mr. Hartzell.
My understanding is, Mr. Hanlon indicated this, the RFP committee found this to be the best value of those that were presented, and I think there were 3 others? 6, okay, so 5 others that competed for this, and so they won out of the group of 6. I will pass it to Ms. Taylor for the details.
We had a competitive RFP process. We've received 6 proposals from throughout the country. The firm we're recommending, Grimeline, is located in Seattle, Washington, and was started by a group of skaters that evolved into design over the past several years. The skate park is proposed to be located at Jordan Park on the former clay tennis courts there. There are capital funds identified for this project, and we'd like to proceed with the design. Still have funding to secure, but we'd like to get the design done.
Remember when we talked about the skate park maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago?
Yes.
We held those people in the back,
Yes.
and they were skaters, and they weren't youngsters either. Some of them were, not quite my age, but So we're moving forward to skate park?
Yes.
So it could be up and running in 2 years?
That's it, that is the plan, yes.
Okay. Comments, Ms. Mona, go ahead.
And when are you planning to have a committee, like, let's say, community input regarding, to see what it is that the community will like?
We'll begin that as soon as we can get the group out here for a pre-meeting and move right away, so it'll be through the summer. Through the spring and summer will be the public
Spring,
process.
summer. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Council? Public?
I think it's,
Go ahead, Mr. Brady.
thank you, I think it's well overdue, we've been talking about this fight for years and years and years, and, I'm happy to see that it's, taking, getting to it and, getting ready to establish the funding sources and working on it, so it's good, thank you.
Just gotta make sure our liability insurance is paid. It's up, but, okay, all right, anyone else from council, from the public? Seeing none, Mr. Hanlon, call a vote, R43.
R43, Ms. Moda?
Yes.
Mr. O'Connell? Yes. Ms. Zappa?
Yes.
Mr. Greedy?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Mr. President, 6 yeas and no nays.
Okay, R44.
R44 is an authorization for award of a contract with F.A. Rohrbach in the amount of $386,950 to engage in sidewalk reconstruction work through November 15, 2017, and that was competitively bid.
Mr. Hartzell and Mr. Messenger again.
Hello. In this case, I believe there were 3 who had competed for this, and it was a competitive bid, so we went with the lowest responsive bidder in this case. All of this will be coming out of capital funds that have been set aside for this purpose since 2015. And I will defer now to Mr. Messenger on the details.
Can you, go ahead, let's have the details.
Okay, basically, for the 2015 program, when we actually went out for bids for curb and sidewalk, all the bids actually came in too high, and it did not cover the funding of what we had for the program. To get our program done during the season, we needed to, at minimum, put the curbing in. So that's why this is just sidewalk itself. The curbing for the 2015 program was completed, but we had went out for bid, actually, this is the 3rd time, and we finally received bids that were within the monies that we actually had for the program.
Mr. Brady, go ahead.
What area are you looking to target to this, project?
Oh, this was the 2015 streets program. Now, all the streets that were on the program, they were already noticed back in 2015. We had to renotice them that this was going, but again, the bids came in way too high, so we could not accept the bids that were actually sent at that point in time. This is the 3rd time it went out. At this point in time, the bid did come in low enough, and that's why we can actually address this now.
No, I mean, what streets are you looking to do, what sidewalks, where is it, 15th Street, 9th Street?
They're all throughout the city. They're the ones that we did on our 2015 paving program.
Do you send, residents, that are adjacent to the project, to where you're gonna do the sidewalk, letters, so in case they want to do the sidewalk for some reason,
Yes, there were.
find people who come before us because they were not notified or because they were charged and then you do the sidewalk, or that's always an issue with that.
Yeah, they're all noticed, and they all have the right to be able to go out to their own contractor to get it done. All we request is that they get a permit through our Department of Engineering. And, but yes, the work can be done and inspected, and it can be done with their own contractor. We, however, supply a contractor just in case the person does not want to have to deal with it, with getting their own contractor and going through that process. So that's why the city in itself, we have one available for them. We let them know what the pricing is. We let them know what needs to be replaced. So they're well aware of what needs to be done prior to making the decision whether or not they have their own contractor or if they go with ours.
Okay, great, thank you.
Anyone else on council? Mr. Dr. McGuire, go ahead.
Mr. Bessinger, thank you for the recent letter your department sent me.
I guess you're getting your street paved.
amount, $386,000, to engage in sidewalk reconstruction work. Is this the amount which the city will actually have to pay, or is this a estimated cost, but money is regained from the individual homeowner, et cetera?
Well, this is pretty much the pass-through where we have to pay the contractor because we hold the contractor. We pay, and then if the property owner does use our contractor, we then bill, and then we receive the funds back.
Okay, does that end up in a net gain or loss to the city?
There are some times where people cannot afford it, and we do have there is a program for low-income housing that if you do own your property and you make under a certain amount of money, which is handled under Community and Economic Development, that if they would live there in that property for 5 years, it would actually be funding from CDBG that would actually take care of paying for it. There are some people that do end up in default, and we do have to go after, and we actually lien the properties. So when the property is sold, we do get our money back then. But at this point in time, I would say most of the people pay their bill as it's getting done. There are some times we have to lien the properties, and there are some times where they do actually, they're available to get that funding from CDBG. They apply with it. Heidi Bear had ran the program, and I believe Maria Quigney is going to be running that program now.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else on council? From the public? Seeing none, Mr. Allen, call a vote.
Mr. O'Connell?
Yes.
Ms. Zappa?
Yes.
Mr. Greedy?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Ms. Moda?
Yes.
Mr. President, 7 yeas.
Thank you, sir. R45.
R45, authorization of a change order over 10% that was previously bid with Construction Master Services in the amount of $146,203 for construction of ADA handicap ramps within the CDBG eligible low-income residential downtown area.
Mr. Hartzell.
The reason for this change order is not an overrun, but rather that additional CDBG money was found to be available for this particular project, and so we're asking the contractor who's already been working on this to do more than had been originally intended.
Sounds fair. Okay. Council members? Public? Seeing none. Mr. Hanlon, R45.
Ms. Zappa?
Yes.
Mr. Greedy?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Ms. Moda?
Yes.
Mr. O'Connell?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Hartzell. Thank you, Mr. Messenger. Thank you, Ms. Kistler, and thank you, Ms. Taylor. Special conduct meeting is adjourned. We're going to start right now, and now we gotta wait 6:30, 2 minutes. Community Economic Development Committee, we gotta stay on task tonight because we want to go see Alan play. Yeah, here's Bob. PTO Center.
It's televised, isn't it?
Yeah. Service left, if you want to see it.
Are you gonna be able to get tickets?
Yeah, I went on.